Well, howdy. I have a prop. Can you tell? I'm going to let you look at that and just keep your eyes on it while I talk to you and tell me what that is. And let's see when I tell you what it is, if it's what you thought it was. How about that? We used to go up to Clay County, Alabama when I was a boy and even after I was a young adult. This particular story happens when I was a boy. Back in those days, we went up to Aunt Mildred and Uncle Raymond Thrift's house. Now, they were not no blood kin to us, but that was Aunt Mildred and Uncle Raymond. We wouldn't hear nothing else about it. Neither did they. We were family. Now, you could turn the youngins loose and just let them go play, you know. And on this particular day, as I have conferred with the boy I used to be, and we seemed to agree that my two sisters, older sisters, and possibly my brother are up and down the road just frolicking, you know, and they come across an empty house. The door's open. Obviously, nobody's lived in it for a long time, so they go in. Can you imagine nowadays doing that? My. They go in this house and they find this. Well, they bring it back to Aunt Mildred's house and, look, Mama, what we found. Mama said, where'd you get that? And they told this empty house right up the road here. And Mama said, what'd I tell you about going in houses without asking? Mama, nobody lives there, and nobody's been there for a long, long time. You couldn't go next door and ask. And Mama just dressed them down pretty good, you know. And she said, all to spank your butt for going in somebody else's place without asking. But then Mama kept this. And it hung on her wall till the day she died. And there's a little tag right there. It's got my name on it. She wanted me to have it. Now, what is it? It was found just propped up in a corner. This was a broom. In those days, and this dates back, I don't know, 1940s, 50s maybe. People grew their own straw. They bound it up, had some twine around it, tied a nice little knot in it, and that was a broom. This broom would probably have been about 5 feet, maybe even 6 feet long. More 5 though. I know generally that the lady who lived in this house was legally blind, and yet they say she kept the cleanest house in the community. I don't know, neighbor. We have all the conveniences of these days, and we can't keep a clean house, but this dear lady, they tell me, kept a spotless house with just tools like this that were homegrown and homemade. And this broom served, and it served well until the last time it was leaned up in that corner. Now, let me use this broom to teach a lesson. I'm talking to our senior adults. I am one. That's just crazy that I'm 67 years old. I'm supposed to be a bald-headed, bony, buck-toothed boy picking blackberries barefoot out in the woods. But here I am. Is there ever a time when we really, really retire? This old broom didn't. It worked until the last time it was laid up in that corner. I'm 67. I have a YouTube page. I have a book under my belt and another one I'm working on. Now, I didn't say, watch now, I am semi-retired. I work part-time to fund stuff like I'm doing right here. But I could be all the way retired, and yet we're not retired. We have things to do, stories to share, knowledge to pass on. The biggest mistake that we make in this world today, increasingly, we want to just kind of push our seniors to the side. Honey, you're going to have to do a lot of pushing to get me off to the side, because I have made up my mind that what little knowledge I have, what little talent I have, what little time I have left, I have a responsibility to share the things that I do have or the things that I do know with people that's coming along after me. Don't let the apologists and the, what kind of words can we use here? The socialist thinking that's coming to take over our country. Pass that knowledge on. Pass it on. You are a walking history book, neighbor. You have experienced things that people nowadays don't know anything about. Example, I watched the integration of the schools. We're going to talk about that before this is over with. I know what it's like to watch 4 small towns become one city and all the work that goes into that. I'm going to be sharing that as we go on. I have a story to tell. My first book, pretty much a story of not just my life, but the life of the people that came before me. I want the world to have a record of the way life really was, not the way some revisionist wants you to think it was. They're 2 different worlds. You're going to hear, as long as I have breath, about the way the world was when I lived in it, the different things that we went through. My soul, little things like when President Kennedy was assassinated, when Dr. King was assassinated, just hard things that people don't want to talk about anymore, but you need to. Because if you don't remember where you came from, you won't be no good where you're at, and you'll have no idea where you're going. So listen to me, senior adult. Listen to me. Use your knowledge. You have a talent to share. Share it. You have memories that need to be preserved. Preserve them by telling them to the people around you. You can mentor people. I'm going to a mentoring class right now in self-publishing because 2 people had enough forethought and wanted to give back and pay back. And so I get to draw from their years of knowledge and their wisdom, even at my age, to make me better at what I want to do. You are priceless. Never doubt that. God did not put you here just to sit in a rocking chair and wave at cars as they go by your door. You have things you can do that will benefit other people, and you ought to do that. Remember Moses? God said, I'm not going to let you go in the promised land. I'm going to let you see it, but you can't go. And there was a time when God said, you come on, go with me. You're going home. But until he said that, Moses led his people. Maybe a mistake caused him to go home early, but nevertheless, until he passed the man along to somebody else, he was the leader of God's people. You can be a leader. You can be an example. You can be the reason that somebody does not give in to this new age thinking. Well, I could bite a 10-penny nail half in 2 sometimes of some of the stupid things that are being passed off as normal or necessary. Come on, senior adults, get with me. Let's go down sharing and caring and making sure the next generation knows some of the real story of the world we lived in. You think about that. God bless your heart for listening. I love you. Leave your stories in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe, and start to be a part of this little family we're building. It's a lot of fun. I would love to hear your stories. Pass them on. And we'll talk to you again real soon. Have a great day. God bless your hearts. I love you. Bye-bye.